Another night at the Skunk Works. Outside activities have ceased for the night. It's starting to rain. And it's not freezing like it was last week, so I'll take it. So tonight, project is finish these wheels. I've already done that one. Got to go over this one again and put some wax on it, some aluminum wax. Then hop on to these two. While in the video and film it, I don't know if it picks it up, but right here you can see these wheels were custom made for a friend of mine for a Camaro, 69 Camaro. And they've got hash marks on them and whatnot. I don't know if these have ever been polished. Because the guy sold the car, I think pretty much as it was done. I think he kept it for a little bit, but I don't think these have been done. But you can still see, you know, it's aluminum. They're gonna have hash marks in them, and even the best of polishes and rouges and buffers and stuff. I mean, you're gonna have something. That's just the way it is. I mean, some does do better than others, and I've got other pictures and whatnot of things I've done, and you can get pretty close. Of course, you got different grades, quality of aluminum and whatnot. And these are very, very good quality, I can tell you that. But like I said, as you see, how it's kind of got that dull sheen on it. And I've done these pretty much by hand with a light buffing. I didn't want to go, you know, on some wheels and some aluminum items, depending on the shape that it's in, you got to go kind of deep. But these not so much. So just like a light buffing with this tool here, with a foam pad, I found has given me pretty good results. But like I said, you can see where I've taken out most of those swirls. This isn't even a completed wheel yet, so I'll move on to this one. But like I said, you can see the difference. But like I said, it really of course I've never actually seen a wheel made. I have an idea how it's made, and they pretty much do the same thing that I would do here. You take your wheels, your airway wheels, whatever they call them, and flat wheels basically, and put your rouge on them and do what you gotta do, different RPMs and all that. But pretty much with like clear coat, you kind of want your swirls, or as far as metal goes, your hash marks to all kind of go the same way. So that way when the light refracts, reflects on it, you kind of just don't see lines kind of going everywhere. Everything's kind of uniformed, and that's how you hide things, make it all nice and uniform. Like I said, these are in excellent shape, obviously. So we're just kind of getting rid of that dullness and turning it into that. And then while I'm here, I'm working on my bumper for the truck right there. Again, just they're all cheap nowadays. I don't care, unless you know somebody or somebody can make you something. I don't know what they got out there these days, but you know, just your average aftermarket bumper for an S10. I mean, this has held up pretty good. I've had this for a long time. But since it's off, I'm going to go ahead and take some steel wool and just kind of knock that down. Might put some polish on it. I'm not getting crazy with it. But while it's off, it's one of the things where you just want to make things better if you can while you're here. It'll be better than what it is. And this is one of the things, it's off and it's right here in front of you. But I'm pretty sure these are all made in Taiwan, regardless of who you buy them from. There might be some companies out there, I really haven't looked, that might have some like I don't know, maybe some other company that used to make these or something, but I've got same bumper I bought in 1998. I bought from a quote unquote custom shop. I mean, they did custom work. Obviously, I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm just saying, and they did the same thing. I mean, it's the same, they come from the same place. I don't really think there's like competing companies out there making S10 front bumpers. So you get what you get. Same thing with hoods, doors, fenders. They all come from the same place, or they're made in the same place, all stamped out as the same steel. Nothing beats OEM if you can find it, but I like the clean look. I don't like the, I gotta do something different. That's just me, but I like, you can kind of see through the stretch wrap, but that's got the bumper, the impact strip on it. And I just like that nice clean chrome look. But that's what I like. So I'm gonna knock this down. And like I said, get nothing too crazy. That's kind of deep there. I mean, it just is what it is. I put some decent polish on it, something with some sealant on it, protection. It'll probably end up looking like this in another year or so, if not shorter, depending on weather conditions and the obvious stuff. So nothing to get excited about. It is what it is. You could probably take it if it bothered you that much, maybe clear coat it or something like that, but I just don't see the need here. That's just kind of one of those things that, again, you go down that rabbit hole of, man, let's do a really killer job on the bumper, and then the rest of the truck looks like it looks. Know what I mean? So you're building something from scratch, and you always want to pursue and make things better, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? At my age, I keep taking things apart. I better start building me a coffin, because you might not get it back together. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not. I don't think I have one foot in the grave yet, but you're gonna run out of time eventually. So you could buff that down if you wanted to. And it might even have some pits in it from having that kind of rust on it. If you bought a brand new one, you could take it, clean it, put some good like handy greaser on it. They make chemicals to where you can clean aluminum. I've actually got some. I bought it from a truck stop. And what you do is, it was called AlumaClear. But before you put the AlumaClear on it, you can actually put it on these, and it retains that shine, and you can just wash it, and you don't have to polish them. And it does keep that sheen, but I just like the way they look. I just like the bare look. But anyway, there's also KBS coatings, and that stuff is awesome. But if you bought this brand new, what you could do with it is clean it and take some lacquer thinner and go over it with like a paper towel or something lint free. Let it dry, then you could put your protectant on it and it'll hold that. Or you could clear coat it. I mean, there's almost unlimited things you could do with it really to keep it from doing this. But if I were to take that truck right there apart, I mean, I don't know, you'd be there for a moment. You'd end up building the whole truck, and then you're kind of taking away the fun. See, when you go to a show or anything like that, then you're like, I wish I had my truck. Even if it's like not in the best condition, at least you got your truck there and you got something. Yeah, and I've got a little bit of a fleet, so it's kind of easy for me to say, yeah, hey, do it this way, whatever. But it took me a while to get what little I got. So trust me, if you got a truck, and everyone's got big dreams, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dream big. And sometimes you don't hit that big dream, but you get to where you want sometimes, or close. People see that you're trying, but as far as time and money and resources, if you don't have it, then you'll end up on Marketplace. Was going to V8 swap it, was going to do this, was going to body slam. I'm thinking WWF, but You know, was going to body drop it or do whatever and airbag it. All that stuff sounds great. But like myself, uh, I'm an army of one. So like, I don't have a crew here or a team or anything like that to help me do a lot. I do have some friends that come over every so often, but you know, it is what it is. So when you get taking things apart is like really easy. Taking things apart is like super easy. Common sense, right? But I don't know. You end up sometimes making it worse. And if you were to take that truck right there apart, start it tonight, you'd be like, well, I may as well do this with the A-arms. I may as well try and paint the frame. And, well, I may as well take the cab off. And if you kind of don't have the pockets to do that or resources or facility, then you're just going to end up with a bunch of parts that used to be a halfway decent running truck. If you go back in time, especially someone my age in their 40s, whatnot, even 30s or whatever, you go back and you go, man, I had fun with that old truck I used to have or whatever. Sometimes it's fun to dream and not actually maybe achieve the big dream, because that's why I like going to some of these bigger shows that I go to. Well, my 93 and my Extreme's in pretty good shape. My blue truck over there is nice. Not perfect. My 93 is in pretty damn good shape. I mean, like I made videos before. It's a good kind of a barn find now, you know, with the low miles and the shape that it's in, all that stuff. But I like going to the bigger shows because it puts everything in perspective for you. What it does is it says, well, damn, even if I took out a $20,000 loan or took out $20,000 from a savings account, that truck right there would still not be the best or even near the best at some of these shows. So that's why I like going, because you kind of get to see how the other half live, which is great. Because it puts me, I do half marathons, 5Ks and whatnot, and it's awesome because when, you know, you're at home running or you're working out wherever, running down the road with some friends or by yourself, you're thinking, man, I feel great. But then you get there with like 10,000, 20,000 people, and when you see the people coming in first place, second place, 10th place, it's like, man, you will never be there. You can, there's nothing wrong with in your mind, I'm trying to achieve that, but it's also good to know that you might not make it and be happy with what you got and where you are. So kind of straying off from what I'm working on tonight. I do that sometimes. Well, no, actually I do that all the time. But that's kind of what I do. Like I said, straight off just talking about the bumper on the truck, but that's what happens. Same thing with exhaust. You're like, well, I'm gonna get this exhaust, it's stainless, this or whatever, and then you put that on, and then you look at the rest of the truck and you go, well, damn, now I see how ugly the rest of it is. So I may as well let me paint this, let me get this done, let me get that done. And it's all time and money, and sometimes, you know, you can have way more money than time. And all right, so what I'm doing now is just taking some kind of mild polish, just kind of going around with my hands here. Now this stuff you can set on it before you do the wax, and let it set for like 2 or 3 minutes, and it penetrates and supposedly seals, protects, all that stuff. These wheels will have a beautiful life. So you know, you don't really have to do too much unless they're really damaged, unless you're grinding away and kind of filing down to make them smooth and you know, have that nice shiny appearance and all that stuff. But there's really no need in these. Like I've already gone over this with the light buff, and that's all this one's needed. But like you see me do, kind of just work this in a little bit, massage it in, and my idea, like I said, to get you also want to watch. You don't want to do kind of like what I call like rabbit punches, where you're doing like that, because 2 fingers, realistically, if you want to do it nice, well, these will be nice, but you can take like a pad, something that, see, like right now, I just got 2 fingers here, and you got a little gap there. You feel like you're getting everything, but you could be leaving a little gap here and there. Now, I don't claim to be the best or anything like that. You'll never see me post anything to say where I've got the definitive answer on anything, but I've never had any problems. I've been doing this kind of stuff for so long, I can kind of just feel where I'm at, what I'm doing. Like, so I'm using my fingers and going sideways, not like that. And you kind of want to get a nice, long, smooth, unless you really got to dig. But just like with paint, if you dig on it, you're going to want to go back over it and massage it out to where you don't see that. A lot of times, you can see a finger mark to where they think they're covering more area by doing like that, and really you're missing here, you're missing there, you're missing there, and you're going like that, and you can see the streaks in things. But like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and well, again too, it's not rocket science, but it's like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo. Like, I'm not a very good artist. I can give you a tattoo, and by definition, it's a tattoo, but it's gonna look like shit. I mean, you do have a tattoo, but it looks like crap. So kind of same thing with this stuff. It's like, but just like with this here, you're gonna go around. You don't want to stay in one little spot for too long, like that. You kind of want to get into the little crevices there, and like I said, this stuff is a lot milder than the other stuff I use. Kind of again, on this particular job here, everything's different. Every job calls for a little something different. Like I kind of repeated myself. You might need something a little bit more abrasive. They've even got prepping wheels that you turn at like 3,000 RPM that breaks down a lot of oxidation and gets it to a nice clean slate. But even then, if they've been gone too long, you got pits. So I did a set of wheels last year that were really bad shape. Water had sat on them for a regular while and had started some pitting. And once I got polishing them, I mean, they just looked so good. So I told the guy I'll be a little while with them, and he was okay with that. And yeah, I was a while with those. But again, you just go in there and you just kind of massage it. I use little small sanding discs and stuff like that. But like I said, every job is different and calls for whatever. But if you, like anybody else, if you've been doing this kind of stuff long enough, you kind of know, all right, we'll be needing this with this, we'll be using that with that, whatever. And that would be that. But like I said, the stuff I'm using here isn't super abrasive. I mean, it is metal polish, aluminum polish, but it's not really digging deep. And like I said, these, from the time they were born, they've been inside, but some shops are different, insulation, all that stuff, location where you live. You can still get moisture in the air, and it doesn't take much to oxidize anything really, but this will do the job. So, don't have any good positioning in here for my camera or my phone or whatever. until I get more comfortable with things. I think a lot of my videos are going to have the Blair Witch effect, but you'll get the idea, I think. So that's what you end up with. All right, so there you go. What I like to do is kind of toward the final steps is I'll use multiple rags. Like I never try, it's just time consuming and you got to have patience. But I'll take a rag and kind of just wipe around, and whatever wants to come with that rag comes. Then I'll fold it, do it again, another swipe. But then I'll take another rag and just kind of start wiping away. And it's like a slow polish where you're getting it off. You're not really digging into anything. And it definitely, to me, has much better effects than, you know, people hate doing this kind of stuff. So you take your time and just kind of, especially like little crevices and stuff. You see people going like, just, you know, flailing that rag around. But what I like doing, I like just kind of, I mean, if you're getting it right, that stuff will just come right on off. You still got to, you know, wipe, put a little pressure, not a lot, but that stuff will come right on off. And I could probably wipe over this one again with another rag, clean rag. But you can definitely see the sheen is different. So 2 more to do. Got to do the back side of this one. That one's done. That's what we're working on tonight. And I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what we're working on tonight. So see you next time.